is up? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are watching this video. I want to thank y'all so much for tuning in, and I'm going to hop right into the topic for today. I'm going to be providing you 10 questions you can ask to build very complex, but I want to say characters that you can relate to, that you, as a reader, that you are, they actually pull you in. They have so much character, so much depth. And I was reading this book, or I'm still reading because I have not completed it. How We Do It. Sorry, a little glare on there. And the link is down below in the video. And so I actually was scheduled to teach, was scheduled to teach a Black History writing workshop. And so, of course, I like to, even though I understand my topic, I'm still like to learn. I don't know every single thing, so I still learn. So I went to my local library and gorged just different books to read from to add to my topic. And so I came across this book, and it is very good. So this section by Crystal Wilkinson, prayerfully I said that correct. She has, asking questions in excavating memory this morning here. And so I'm going to read to you just a portion of this, and it's going to be 10 questions that you can ask yourself, and then you're going to take the questions and write it from your character's viewpoint so that you can really create a complex character that your reader can relate to. So it states here, the following questions are designed to help excavate some vital information to help you find out who your folks are. Now, once again, this is an urban book, so you're going to say folks instead of people. You're going to hear some of that vernacular. I suggest you to answer these questions as quickly as you can and try to unearth new information about a character that you're already working with. Of course, there can be many, many variations on these questions, and these questions are not end all to beat all, but the goal is to find out something new that deepens your understanding of who your character is. So the first question I have here is, what relationships are important to your character, and describe them. So I'm actually working on a fictional book. And when I say working, I'm like actually still in chapter 1. So very new. And so the relationships that are important to my main character are the relationships with her parents, because of the way she's been raised. It's actually going to shape the relationship that she has with her future spouse and the obstacles that they have, because how she was raised is different than the person she fell in love with. So that's the first question you should ask yourself and actually answer. Number one, what relationships are important to your character, and describe them. So if it's 5 different relationships, you need to have 5 different descriptions of these, okay? Number two, what relationships are problematic to your character, and describe them. So I kind of hinted on it in the first question as far as the relationships that are problematic is the person she's going to fall in love with, because he is the complete opposite of how her parents have raised her. And so then she has this inner dialogue, inner turmoil as far as, do I go against the grain of how I've been raised, what I know, or do I change, my inner thinkings, kind of the way I was raised, and really let myself go to fall in love with this character, to really, experience the joy and the happiness that I desire and want. So number two, what relationships are problematic to your character, and describe them. All right. Number three, who does your character confide in? So who does your character trust? Who does your character tell their innermost secrets with? Is there their best friend? It may not actually be a person, depending on the viewpoint that you're writing your book in. The person that they confide in may actually be the reader. So it may not be anyone within the actual story. It may just be, the person is confiding with the actual reader. So once again, that's a different technique, depending on your point of view in which you're writing your story. So again, number three is, who does your character confide in? Number four, what does your character believe in? What does your character believe in? And so for me, my character, it is faith based. And so it's kind of, believing in how she's been raised, the godly principles of how she's been raised by her parents, who she loves, has that, strong connection with. Daddy's girl, mommy's angel, she's their miracle baby. So she has that connection with them. But her beliefs are challenged later on when she kind of falls in love with this person. So number 4, who does your character or what does your character believe in? Number 5, the fifth question to ask yourself about your character is, what is your character most afraid of? All right, and I'm gonna be honest, I feel like I'm gonna need to dive deeper into this because I would say she's afraid of losing her love, and also perhaps losing her parents, but then I guess also losing herself, because if she chooses you, of course, the love of her life, then there's going to be conflict with her parents. If she chooses her parents, how she's been raised in that belief, then she's pretty much going to lose the love of her life. And pretty much, kind of whichever way she goes, or even in the midst of her making this decision, she's kind of losing herself as far as old thought patterns being torn down or actually being challenged. And so she has this inner turmoil that, causes her an array of emotions that she just don't know how to describe, don't know how to deal with, because it's all new to her. So I want you to think about that. Number 5, what is your character most afraid of? Number 6, what makes your character happy, right? I think that's a good one, because generally when, as humans, I feel like when we are going through something bad, we want to turn to what makes us happy, right? So, we've had a bad breakup, what makes us feel good? Maybe it's that pint of ice cream with some cookies and just indulging, binge watching, movies or something like that. So of course, when people feel, or people going through something challenging, they're going to run to, something that makes them feel good, whether that's a person. And honestly, even if that's something that makes them feel good is bad for them. Because sometimes people, being in a bad relationship makes them feel good. That person can make them feel good even though that person is bad for them. So just think about that. Even though that particular thing makes your character feel good, it can actually be something that's bad for them overall and can hurt them in the long run. All right, because some of us want that short gratification, like we want to go shopping and spend our money and put it on our credit card, but in the long run, you still need to pay that money back. Like, so spending money on our credit card, it feels good in the moment, but at the end, when you see that bill at the end of the month, you're like, man, I didn't realize I spent this much. But you did it because you wanted that quick gratification. Okay. So that was number 6, what makes your character happy. Number 7, what's your character's favorite thing to do for pleasure? Wow. Okay. So I want to say, to me, I mean that is. I would need to dig deep to see how this is different from number 6, because I mean, what makes your character happy, and then what are your character's favorite things? Character's favorite thing, so it's singular, to do for pleasure. I'm gonna ponder upon that. Okay, ponder upon that. Number 8, what did your character eat for breakfast? Very interesting question. What did your character eat for breakfast? It may have some insight as far as their habits. So if you wake up and your character is one of those people that they're going to eat their leftover pizza that they had last night for breakfast, it may speak to how they're just a person on the go, maybe not so much concerned with health. Maybe they're younger because they can do that. But if your character wakes up and cooks a, full course breakfast, or even just has something healthy like some yogurt and granola, it may speak to them. Maybe they, care about their fitness. Maybe they have that time to cook, spend a whole hour in the morning cooking breakfast. So I think all of these questions give some kind of insight into your character and how they can be complex, how you could build upon this character, their personality. And so just think, simple as what a person eats for breakfast can speak to their lifestyle. Because someone who's maybe healthy having for breakfast wouldn't even be something they consider. It wouldn't even be something they may have in their house. So just think about that. What did your character eat for breakfast? Number 9, what did being good mean in their family? Wow. Number 9, what did being good mean in their family? So, for some families, being good may be listening to your parents, being respectful, being mindful, you getting all good grades. Anything less than an A is bad. So that may be the case. And then you may have other households, at least you pass the class. It's more about having fun than the educational piece. It's more about your faith than the things in the world. So you have to think about what did being good in their family mean. Like when you have people that believe in it's about the family and not about self, your character may be shunned upon if they choose to go live a life that's for them. So if mom and dad are sick, then it's expected of you, especially if like you're the eldest, the oldest of the family, to stay and take care of mom and dad. But yet you go against the grain and you're like, hey, I want to go to college, or hey, I want to live my life and do something different. Then that also kind of builds the conflict up if they have to make a decision. So number 9 is, what did being good mean in their family? Number 10, the last question is, what is an object your character cherishes, right? What is an object your character cherishes? So what is something that is near and dear to them? It may be, for my character, it may be like a pendant that her parents gave to her to remind her, how to act when she's off in college, kind of remind her to make those good decisions, not to shy away from how she was raised. So just think about what is something that your character cherishes. If you are writing like a children book, that may be, maybe a blankie or a favorite toy. If your character is older, it may be, the urn of their spouse that passed, or the ashes of the spouse that passed. So you want to think about what is an object your character cherishes. All right. Now, once you have answered all those questions and you understand the background, what makes your character who they are, now she has here, try these from your character's point of view. So the 10 questions was from your point of view as you are creating this character. Now, these sentences that she's asking us to fill in, these are from your character's point of view. So not your viewpoint as the creator, the author, but the viewpoint of your character. Number 1, when I was 5, blank, you fill in the blank. What happened to your character at age of 5? And that's important because it can help shape, how they are as an adult. Maybe they had a traumatic situation at 5. Maybe they had an amazing experience at 5. Like they remember going to, at one of those world-renowned parks and seeing their favorite characters. And that shapes how they are a parent. That shapes how they view life when they get older. So when your character was 5, when I was 5, speaking from your character, what happened? Or fill in the blank. 2, what I think about God, your character's viewpoint. If your character is Shaniqua, what does Shaniqua think about God? And she's writing this in the first person. Okay? Number 3, my father always, as your character, what did your character father always do? Number 4, I miss the smell of, fill in the blank. Maybe it's the smell of coffee in the morning, or their mom's favorite biscuits, or even the smell of gasoline because their father was a mechanic, and when they smelled that oil, that gasoline, they knew that their father was home. So it doesn't have to always be like a pleasant smell. You know, I miss the smell of, or it could be I miss the smell. I'm sorry, when I went to New York for my first time, I was like, oh my gosh, the air is, I don't say putrid, but it wasn't fresh. So they can actually miss that smell. You know, that smell, even though it isn't like the freshest smell, it reminds them of home. So number four, I miss the smell of. Number five, what I said was blank, but what I meant was blank. So you're filling this in for your character. What I said was blank, but what I meant was. Now, how many of us have been in that situation? I feel like I have been in it numerous times of me saying something perhaps with an attitude or not with the greatest meaning. And or not, let me say, not even with attitude. I might have said it, and my thought, like I'm saying something, but my mind is actually over here, and someone perceives it as, mean, wrong, or just whatever. It's like a misunderstanding. So I think that's a great question as far as how your character may be misunderstood. You know. Number six. Last night I dreamt about. Interesting. Your character may have some, maybe nothing. Could be nothing, but they may have some intricate, I really hate to say freaky dreams or something, but dreams can also speak to actually what's going on in the actual life, in your real world, real life. So last night I dreamt about. Number seven, my mother always said. I think that's a good one because some of us that has a that perhaps had a relationship with our parents, our mother, there may be something that she said, and it could be good or bad, but it's something usually what our mother says, kind of sticks with in our heads because what our parents declare or speak over us, we tend to hold on to. So, I hate like a bad example. You just like your daddy. You always blah 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 blah. That's not, usually it's in a bad connotation. So usually what a parent speaks over their child, what a mother speaks over their child is something that that child remembers, whether it's good or bad. Like, you're going to be great one day. Like, I know there's goodness in you. You are going to change the world. So what your parent, what your mother speaks over the character shapes kind of their viewpoint or their life. All right, number 8. While the family gathered at the blank, comma, I would fill in the blank. Once again, while the family gathered at the blank, I would, and this can also speak to how your character interacts with their family. So while the family gathered at the family reunion, I would go sit off by myself. Or while the family gathered outdoors for a picnic, I would be inside the kitchen, helping mom cook. Or while the family gathered, waiting for the food to be served, I will be outside playing with my cousins. So this speaks to how your character interacts with the family, the relationship with the family, where they see, how they see themselves fitting in, belonging, how they can contribute to the family. So it speaks to all the different things. 9. I wish I could remember blank, but all I remember is blank. Number 9 again, I wish I could remember blank, but all I remember is, so there may be some kind of, emotional blockage there or just simply can't remember. And 10, sunlight hitting the floor from the window made me remember. I like that one. Sunlight hitting the floor from the window made me remember. I think these are good, like even writing prompts. This is excellent. I like those. So sunlight hitting the floor made me remember. And for me, when I think about it, I think the sunlight is warmth. So generally, in my mind, it could be a warm feeling, a good fuzzy feeling, a happy memory. But at the same time, what if your character, one morning, the sun is coming through and it seems happy. And then next thing you know, they hear gunshots just out of the blue. And so, they hear gunshots and the car speeding off. And then they walk outside to see that their father has been shot or their brother has been shot. Somebody they love has been killed in the streets. So now, instead of having this warm, happy feeling of sunlight, they are constantly triggered by that memory of someone they cared for, someone they loved being killed. So instead of it being happy memory, it's like I can't stand it. Like, because every time I see, the sun shining through the window, I am remembered. I am pulled back into that moment in which my loved one was taken from me. All right. So those are 10 questions and also 10 writing exercises or 10 exercises to fill in from your character's point of view. Once again, the book is How We Do It, Black Writers on Craft, Practice, and Skills. So I have this book once again because I was teaching African American workshop for Black History. Even though it's for Black writers, I do think this is a good read for those that are trying to build their characters. Maybe you may not be a Black writer, but your characters may be Black, so this may help you with the insight on that. And once again, I have put the link down below, my affiliate link for Amazon down below. And just in case this is your first time tuning into my page, I want to welcome you. My name is Ashley M. King. I am the Get It Done Queen, and I help people of faith tell their story through writing a book and leverage their message to reach the people God has called them to. All right, so thank y'all so much for tuning in. Y'all stay blessed. Have a good day. And if you need to get in contact with me, my contact information is down below. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.